So if you are a landlord or you are thinking about coming into property development and investment, let me just give you the landscape that you're coming into, or if you're already in it, you will recognize a lot of this, but it's worth reiterating just how much of an impact the industry is having at the moment. So in the last few months, we've had mortgage rates surge from 3.5 to almost 7% at the moment, thanks to Liz Truss and Kwarteng. The loan to value, that means the amount you can borrow on the property is shrinking because it's costing you more money to on your interest rates. That means the bank is stress testing higher. That means they are not lending you at just as much of the property that you would have had before if the interest payment was lower. So you'll have to leave more money into the deal all the time. Tax on landlords is biting since Section 24 was introduced in 2017 and phased over 4 years. That means now, since 2021, landlords have not been able to offset their mortgages at all at the 40% rate, rather than they're doing it at the marginal rate of 20%. So because of that, 250,000 properties have been sucked out of the private rental sector market. People can be dancing about this, but the problem is the renters have less choice. So you still have assumed the same number of renters, but you now have less properties to go for. So what's happening is the price of rent has been rising quite sharply, almost 10% year on year. There's wage stagnation, so people have not been getting a wage that matches the rate of inflation, and prices of goods and services as well as rent have been rising. So that makes them poorer. Which then also makes an issue around rent payments and rent defaults, because people are struggling to survive really with cost of food, cost of energy, etc., etc. And now rent's going up, so they're struggling and they are having to decide between food or rent. And then if you end up being caught, the court are taking on average 6 months now to actually see the case. And even when you get the paper, which is a possession on the day, it still takes you another month before you get repossession. So landlords are losing money all the time, over and over, months of rent not paid. And that affects their mortgage payment as well, because they have to start and find the money to pay the mortgage. Stamp duty surcharge is still here, so 3% surcharge for investors regardless, and that really great to me, because we're buying properties that have been defunct for so long. We're investing in it, putting it back into the market so that people can live in, but we're still being affected by the tax. In my next video, I'll talk about the regulation and the amount of regulation that's been coming in over the last 3 or 4 years that affects landlords and the business of renting properties.